gentlemen, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional. Today we are in Daniel chapter 5. I'm going to read verses 18 through 23. So we pick up in the story where Daniel walks into this cesspool inside the palace. The party stopped because there was this hand that appeared and wrote on the wall, and no one knew what it said. So Daniel comes in to interpret it, and he first addresses the king. And here's what he says. He says, "O king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father kingship and greatness and glory and majesty." In other words, there's kings and then there's a king. And because of the greatness that he gave him, all peoples and nations and languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he would, he killed, and whom he would, he kept alive. Whom he would, he raised up, and whom he would, he humbled. But when his heart was lifted up and his spirit was hardened, so that he dealt proudly, he was brought down from his kingly throne, and his glory was taken from him. He was driven from among the children of mankind, and his mind was made like that of a beast, and his dwelling was with the wild donkeys. He was fed grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven until he knew that the Most High God rules the kingdom of mankind and sets it over whom he will. In other words, what Daniel is setting up here is he's setting up the fact that there are kings that rule the earth, and then there's a king that rules all things. And you, this is important, and you, his son, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. In other words, he's saying that you are culpable for actually knowing this. You witnessed what happened with your father, but you did nothing about it in your own life. But you have lifted yourself up against the Lord of heaven. You've consciously done this. And the vessels of his house you have brought in before you, and you, your lords, your wives, and your concubines have drunk wine from them, and you have praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze and iron and wood and stone, which do not see, do not hear, and do not know, but the God in whose hand is your breath, and whose are all your ways, you have not honored." So what you have here is basically a talk down. What's happening is Daniel's taking Belshazzar out to the woodshed, giving him a good beating. And guess what, fellas? We need men like this in our life. We need a man who will speak the truth to us before it's too late. But for this to happen, 4 things have to happen first. First, we got to find a man like this, right, who will speak the truth. Second, once we find them, we've got to permit them to speak the hard truth to us. Third, we've got to listen without rejecting the man or his truth. And fourth, we need to seek them out before we do something stupid, right? That's the problem with Belshazzar here. He inquires too late because the writing's on the wall. I mean, God's verdict is already in. He's given him his chance. He has taken sin too far and defiled the vessels from God's holy temple, something even his father, Nebuchadnezzar, never did. So guys, I want you to do something for me today. I want you to connect with another wiser man this week, even today if you can, about a challenge you're facing in your life. And then I want you to open up to him and practice letting an older and wiser man speak the truth to you. And in the process, I want you to learn to get over your issues with being challenged by a godly man, and then heed any wise and godly advice he gives. And you need to do this before it's too late. I love you guys, but do something about this today. With that, I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.